We lived in an unpainted house, the Red House, at the edge of woods so deep I would never have thought to ask what lay beyond. From the woods, we could hear coyotes, though my daddy called them wolves, and birds like the whippoorwill. And I'm planting trees, more trees. In the woods, a few of the great cedars remain. Transplanted seedlings have grown to more than 20 feet. Sometimes I plant oaks in rows to frame a view from where I stand, still looking out from the windows of the Red House. Lying in bed as the morning sun pours in, I watch irregular brown shapes made by the last invading rain on new white ceiling paper, till a form or face appears to move as a cloud outside passes by. Without a word, but thinking, if I close my eyes, it will go away. And sometimes seems to, but I can remember without looking. And usually when I look again, the form or shape remains unmoved. The rain no longer finds a way inside, but I, lying in bed, when the light starts to show through sycamore leaves, I can still see a moving form or face. It is the wind. I look away or close my eyes. It crouches still in the branches of a tall tree I planted there myself. Mother Gladys will cherish from this house, in that first location, the memory of a spring morning. At an east window, her son, just tall enough to peer over the sill, turned and asked, "Mother, didn't God make the world beautiful?" In those hard years, she watched Dietz Darrow, the land agent, drive through the yard she swept and planted with petunias and zinnias. When Clayton was unable to hoe the grass from an entire field, he hoed the end rows first. Those driving by might think he was doing a good job working the land, and Gladys helped. Then fountains. Beside a hillside spring, Indians had uncovered and made into a small pond. I loved to arrange sand and pebbles for water to flow out over. These creations didn't outlast a day because cows passed along the pond's edge. On this day, I'd ridden my Shetland pony, Bob, and tied him under a small tree while I played at the spring again. Suddenly, something behind me hit the ground, and Bob broke the leather straps of his bridle. Coiled on itself was the whole length of a snake, like none of the green-streaked grass snakes I'd often seen before. Bright bands of color circled the snake. It may not have been the red next to yeller kill-a-feller kind of snake, but I stayed away from spring playing after that, and from the drowning tree. 1979, June 30th. My loneliness circles a world that no one sees. My parents will live 50 years at this place. Their story has yet to be told, and this place described. I might have escaped, but always returned, though the sky is too big, the light too bright, everything brittle, every imperfection shows. April tempts flowers and awakening green, but struggles always ahead for a beauty too fragile. Then October comes again with its special quality of light and air, serenity. I found it as she left it, my grandmother Gregory's sewing basket. Also the letters, drawn again from their cut envelopes, spread out flat. More than 50 years they've waited. I'm curious, but know some things are rarely told, especially in letters. Turn them, find threads to weave. I don't recall whether I was still a student or working at a job somewhere, but I'd returned home, and the hour was early morning. A plain white iris had bloomed, and I discovered it dew-covered, crouched close to see, and suddenly was filled with such new joy that everything around was changed. Looking into that flower, I felt I could be changed too. Life become good if I could remember and hold on. Nor was this incident an isolated moment. Again, on a frosty morning, I was among trees on the north hillside in golden sunshine, leaves wet on the ground. Then a movement overhead started a cascade down of yellow and red. I focused on a single red leaf and found myself in it. These moments of joy outside of loneliness will be the meaning of my life. So too with books and reading, travel, and walking toward places with a deep echo. There is abundant material for such a canvas, where others see only lack of moderation, or as a Methodist preacher commented, so much sublimation. I know the meaning of that word, I replied, wishing to say nothing more to him ever.